Hey, mate.
Hey Jade, how's it going?
Yeah, not too bad.
I just made it in the nick of time. Sorry for being a little bit late. Pretty busy today.
Yeah, no worries.
Cool. Well, we're almost a minute till the countdown timer at 0. We'll do our introductions then. I know that you're live right now, but yeah, it's good. It's been a little while since I saw you.
Yeah, busy.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Whew, how's the weather over there?
It's been nice actually. Today was
Yes,
was probably the worst, but it wasn't even that bad. It was nice.
I gotcha. Cool. It's been pretty overcast for us recently. Temperature's warm though, but rainy is not too fun, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just refresh. How's my audio? Am I too loud, too quiet?
No, sounds good.
Cool, good stuff. And yeah, we had Mark on Tuesday. He did some pretty neat icons, which was pretty sick to see. He was doing like the icons for the emotes when you get to use your scroll wheel and click what animation you want to do, and it's neat. It's neat to see that stuff too. It's gonna be pretty awesome seeing you though. It's been a while since I last caught you on stream actually.
I haven't streamed in ages, to be honest.
That's why I'm like, huh. I usually see Jake go live, and I enjoy popping in. But
Yeah, it's about 2 weeks
cool.
now.
It's been 2 weeks since you streamed on your own channel?
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez, I didn't know. Well, this is your re-debut, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it was. Well, it'll be 2 weeks Monday coming.
Ah, gotcha. Cool. So, let's get on with the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thursday's Asylum development stream. Today we have Jade77. As you just heard right now, it's been a little bit since we last saw him, but good to see him back. He's done a lot of stuff for the apartments in the game. He's done a lot of different props. In fact, today, one of the images we posted on Twitter was the Ottoman, which I didn't even know that was a word until today, but it's like a round couch. I'll throw that into the
Oh
Twitch if you
yeah,
guys
yeah. I
want to check it
just
out.
just finished that today.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Good stuff, Jade. It looks nice. And yeah, there was Miroslav's Afro hairstyle. He finally finished it. He's done another one actually. I posted just last time, I do believe. It was like a side parted variant, but this is the Afro one. So take a look at that if you guys want to. And we have Umut's sandals and socks, which is pretty cool. Not too exciting items, but good to know that they're there. And that's kind of what I posted today in terms of media. Oh, and of course, Jade's megaphone. I think I got that up Tuesday, I think. Yeah, I did. Yeah, that megaphone looks super realistic, dude. I don't know how you do it.
Ah, well, you know. I'm
Yeah.
not actually working on this. I've literally haven't stopped all day. I was working with Soam till about 5 minutes ago.
Holy cow, seriously?
Yeah, just fixing a few bugs on the two-bed Lux,
Wow.
but
Sounds
which is
good.
fixed now, so he's now got it. But yeah,
Nice. So we're looking at is this the two bed locks right now?
this is the two-bed Lux. Yeah,
Ooh, I love the little balcony.
I've
I
changed the
don't know if
balcony.
that's success. Oh, it's good. Yeah.
I
Well,
added
most of the
more pillars.
blueprints we've had have seen improvements thanks to you actually, because I know you and Motown discussed like, oh, maybe we should make this wall bigger, pull this out, and they look really fantastic with the changes you guys have made to them. So
Thank you.
kudos
I
to
was
you.
given a free reign, so
Yeah.
but we had to do some fixes to like add a roof to the roof to stop True Sky shining through.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been working with that. So
Nice, nice.
I've been working on what blinds. Oh God, what else have I been doing? God knows, loads of
I
stuff.
mean, you've been looking at apartments for a very long time now.
I miss doing them.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there will be more, and I mean, maybe you'll actually get to create some houses in the full game. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Motown is a busy guy. Same with John, but I think Sean might be able to pop in today. We'll see. He said if he is, he won't be popping in first, but perhaps you're halfway through maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all still around in the office. It's been super busy as of late. The programmers are working hard. like Archer and Cyber are working on shop inventory and user inventory, just making sure that those systems work correctly. They're also looking over the feedback we got from the previous gameplay video and making sure that like the inventory functions, because it wasn't 100% working when we streamed. You couldn't use the items in it. So
Okay.
we're taking a look at that. That's kind of why it's been a little bit like we still haven't had the next gameplay stream yet. There's still one planned. We just don't know when exactly it's going to happen. But once we fix up some stuff and get some more things completed, we can most certainly show off some more stuff. I know John talked about that in the most recent devlog, so we'll definitely keep you guys posted where we can. For now, it's a no gameplay stream today, but hey, we got Jade making his re-debut, so that's pretty cool. I always love seeing what these artists are up to, and you're no stranger to making a pretty object or two, so. Oh, yeah, that's the ref, huh? Now, how are you going to go about approaching those, like the middle part, like the swirly part of those poles?
That's the bit I'm not going to do online today.
Oh, because that looks.
I was messing around with a few methods.
All right, all right. Yeah, because that definitely looks. I think the hardest part of that, but it'll be interesting. So you'll be tackling all of this in Maya, or?
Yeah, I'm going to model this today. I'm going to model, get it all ready and done, and then tomorrow. Well, obviously, well, it depends how far I get, really, but yeah, I'll go around, and I've been messing around for the last couple of hours with a few different methods that come out okay, but it's not got what I want on it,
I gotcha. Cool, sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, so it should be an interesting stream today. Once again, thank you to any of the moderators that pop in. I know I see Cyber there. He's the programmer I just mentioned, actually. He's been hard at work today. And yeah, we'll try and answer questions where we can. Motown pops in, he can help answer questions pertaining to, his domain. He's the art director for Asylum, so he's got the lockdown on all sorts of different things revolving any of the artwork we produce and things like that. We also have a huge repertoire of previously asked questions that I can draw information from, so that's always good. And yeah, apart from that, it'll be fairly chillax. I'm just trying to think over if there's anything else I should bring up in the introduction, any housekeeping items. If I remember anything, I'll definitely talk about it. But I do see a question about aquariums. And
Again.
so aquariums will be a thing in the game. We don't know to the extent of like how much you'll be able to customize them. I know some people have suggested being able to put your own fish in, and that would be really cool. But for now, it looks like that any of the aquariums we offer will have like a predetermined, interior with a certain amount of fish. But the devs are listening to your guys' suggestions for that sort of thing. So maybe if there's a large amount of demand for that sort of thing, then maybe we can make it happen. But for now, there will be aquariums in some shape or form, but the customization is still to be revealed. But yeah, aquariums are nice. They have that extra little touch to them, to your interior living environment. It's always nice to have some aquatic life, some aquatic ambience. But yeah, hello everyone. Thanks for popping in today. It's nice to see you all here, checking out to see what the artists are up to. It's nice to see Jade on stream again for sure.
Yeah, I need to get back at it.
It's all good. What about other pets like birds, turtles, etc.? Let me go through my big list of stuff because from what I recall, they want to add at some point like simple animals like cats and dogs, and they'll just kind of do their own thing in your apartment or house. Here I have two clips actually from April 24th, so fairly recently. One is talking about a brief rundown of pets. Throw that in there, and the other clip is discussing when we can expect to see them implemented. So hopefully this will be relevant to your question. Hope those help. Yeah. Dog fights. There have been inquiries about canine attack dogs, but I don't think that's something we'll be doing. At the very least, not for a long time. Let me get one of our previously asked questions with that. Yeah, here's one talking about attack dogs. Hey, Marthalian's here. He's watching you, Jade. Thanks for working together just recently. I know you guys were just in a... I don't know if you guys were in a call actually, but as you said, it's been like maybe 10 minutes since you just stopped working with him to fix something, so good stuff.
Would he not leave me alone?
It's all good.
He knows I love him, really.
Yeah, and that is correct, babe. They're just looking at non-exotic options for now, like cats and dogs. With the aquariums, if they do contain fish, there won't be like anything special with them, at least for now. He says, "I'll never stop being your hang-around, heart." Good stuff. And hey, we have our art director popping in. How's it going, dude?
Hey guys, good to
Yeah, mate.
see you again, Jade, or talk to you again, second time today.
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, so how have things been in your neck of the woods today, Motown?
Pretty good. Just knocking off another thing off the task tracker today, so it'll get updated pretty shortly.
Oh, really? That's awesome. Is that something that was like just within Reich, or was that something that was actually on the tracker? Pardon me.
No, it was on the tracker, so at least something. I don't know how many things will change, but at least something will.
Oh, let me pop it open real quick. That's really good news because we all love when we see more progress on that. So for those of you who are new here, I'll drop the link into the Twitch chat. Basically, when all of these progress bars hit 100% completed, that's when we can get the game going up on Steam and going through the Steam verification process. There is a build on Steam right now that like Jade and we have access to, but it's like for internal stuff. We can't just give that out, unfortunately. Would be cool, but so yeah, let's take a look. Motown, would it be in the user interface side of things or gameplay?
Gameplay, I believe.
Nice. Well, let's see then. That'll be pretty sick to have another task clicked off. We're very close in terms of how many are remaining.
Getting very close. A couple things might come and go on there. We're always kind of like running into new issues as we progress, but if they do get included on there, they'll probably be just as fast to fix too. So nothing to worry about. Just if you do see something pop up on the tracker at some point during the week or next week, don't get angry at us. It'll get fixed quickly.
Okay. Is that something that we noticed that we needed to be necessary?
Yeah, it's usually. I'm not sure yet. I'm just saying in case we don't finish it this week, then it might pop up on there.
I got you. Definitely after receiving feedback for the recent gameplay video, I can definitely understand if fixes have to be added or things like that. Which the devs are working on that. There just hasn't been any visual change in terms of the fixes that we now realize we had to do. So I understand. But good to know that you got a task pretty much good to go for later. Yeah, how's life been as the art director recently? Crazy?
It's been pretty busy. Yeah, very time occupied at all moments of the day. Yeah, Jeffrey Detroit. Are you from Detroit? I saw that guy in the chat. I'm from Detroit.
Nice.
Neat name.
Yeah. Yeah. If there are any artsy related questions, Motown is definitely your guy. He's also one of the first guys to really work on identities, one of the founders. Him and John kind of started this whole thing. So, if you guys have any cues that, are plaguing you, then feel free to throw them out there and we'll try our best to get them answered. Yeah, sounds good.
Makes sense, Jeffrey. Nobody voluntarily goes to Detroit.
Oh.
But yeah, Any art-related questions I could probably answer. Maybe some gameplay is.
Ooh. To answer your question, Fubister90, you're asking, can we expect private servers as soon as the first module is out? We'll have private servers for the full game, but not for the modules. The way Town Square will work is that you'll log in and you'll be placed in a random server, but you will still be able to join off of your friends. So if your friends are playing in one, you can still coordinate and end up in the same server together if you want to play together. But there won't be any like private servers for Module 1, as it's mostly just a social lobby to get your to get your foot in the door, test out things like apartment customization, character creation, all sorts of social interactions you can have with other players, and basically just test things out that you'll see in the full game. When we do hit the full game part of the development cycle, you will be able to host private servers, and you'll have a whole slew of tweaks and customizations you can make in terms of rules for your server, so that's good. Uh, yeah, scrolling through. Sorry for being a bit slow on the chat, but yeah. So Moton, I actually have kind of a question for you, and it's regarding this task assigned to Jade.
Yeah.
Those swirly things on the side of the table, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he probably won't be doing them on stream today, but do you have any recommendations as to what would be the best way to go about them? Because I'm just curious.
Well, I do in 3D Studio Max. I don't know how to do it in Maya. But Max has a twist modifier, which would be perfect for that feature. However, I don't know where the twist
Yeah, this has got
ability
that.
is. And okay, great.
I was playing around with it earlier.
Yeah,
Nice.
but that should solve your problems there. Yeah, Maya is just hieroglyphs to me. I can't understand the interface. If I spent
gotcha.
some time with it, I would understand.
Cool. It's going to be interesting to see the approach he takes, but yeah, I look forward to seeing the final product for sure. And this is also really cool what you're doing right now, building the structure of the legs with these rings and things like that. It's pretty neat. Looks like a complicated piece of software to work with, but you artists know your stuff.
Well, I suppose it is if you're new to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really once you get the hang of it, it's just easygoing. You know, it just becomes fun after you know what you're doing. You know, once you're past the tutorial stages and you just kind of know how to tackle shapes on your own, it's just really a lot of fun to play with. And I'm sure Jade could agree.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
For sure. Oh, this usually comes up, Jade, when people look back at your older models. I think we've definitely talked about this before, but it's regarding the vape. Will it be usable, Motown?
The vape. Not in Town Square. If it is, I don't know if we've decided yet whether we're gonna use it. But if it is, it'll be for the full game, not Town Square.
Okay. But like in the video that we showed on May 29th, there was like a blunt, I think, for weed.
Yeah, smoking.
There's going to be
yeah,
some
that will be enabled. It's just that we kind of like felt it was a little redundant to kind of make that work for all these other extra items that basically do the same thing. You know.
Okay.
So yeah.
I can't remember if you actually asked me to make it or did I just do it.
I don't remember. You did a lot of
drug-related paraphernalia. And yeah, this is actually something that I remember I wanted to discuss. For those of you who missed Tuesday's stream, I'm going to throw in a link to it in the Twitch chat. It was Mark working on some 2D stuff, which was pretty cool. He was actually in the process of making the emotes for the animation wheel, like the radial menu wheel. You'll be able to select basically what kind of animations you want to perform, and he's in charge of making the icons so you know exactly what your character will be doing. So if you want to skim through that, there aren't any clips of it just yet, but at the beginning he also did show off some cool stuff regarding I think like the goth shirt, the polo shirt. He made some jerseys with the tank
Yeah,
top,
those jerseys
and
were looking.
yeah, they look sick. And he did some designs for the headphones. So if you guys want to check that out, there's the URL. And yeah, in that stream, he basically finished the dabbing amount, which is funny to say the least, but it's looking good. And you know, the more he completes, the more of an idea you'll have of what sort of animations you'll be able to do in Town
Yeah.
Square.
There was a lot of fun with that in the Discord earlier.
Oh dear, I
Using
don't know if I
the
want to go
dab
back
icon.
there. Yeah, but yeah, it's good because the way like Mark has to work with these things is that they have to be kind of visible and really convey a message to the player, like what they do at smaller resolutions. I think he's working in like 128 by 128, and even when it was a Discord icon, it was super small. People still got the gist of it. So, props to him. I definitely want to give him some kudos next time I see him. Uh,
I got a question for you. From Kartoff El
oh
Jeff.
no.
All right, what did you have for lunch today?
Is this really what you guys want to hear about? Well, I don't even remember, dude. Just a sandwich, I guess. I will say one thing. I know you've been adamant about taking everyone out from Asylum for dinners and stuff, and
Yeah.
I've yet to take you up on that offer, but maybe Friday, maybe tomorrow.
All right.
Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, it's
There's no maybes.
the life of the community manager isn't very interesting. You guys want to know more about like you know, the devs. It's cool. But cool that people are, I guess, interested in that sort of thing. Um, so in terms of when the first like playable version of Identity will be out, basically the way it works is that we have 3 modules planned, followed by a beta of the open world. That's when we're getting close to the full release, and then we'll have the full release. Basically, Module 1 is Town Square, so it's a social lobby. You'll be able to do things such as write books or paint paintings that can be displayed publicly in the library or art gallery, respectively. There's a new confirmed feature where you'll be able to spray paint on a wall mural, and you can spray paint over other people's creations. You'll be able to karaoke in front of others. You'll be able to go to the cinema, watch public domain movies, which is kind of neat. You'll be able to customize your apartment. Everyone will be given an apartment to play with, regardless of whether or not you pledge for one. You'll be able to make your character. You'll be able to kind of just do all sorts of things like that, like play chess with other players, and we'll be updating it over time, so there's more sort of interactions you can perform. Like for example, we want to open up the shooting range in the basement of the police department at some point, so you can get a feel for how the guns handle, and eventually be able to play pool, things like that. But that's kind of what Town Square is all about. It's about just giving players access to a bunch of stuff. There won't be currency in Town Square. If you walk into the furniture store, you can just buy stuff for free if we ever add new stuff, which we will. We'll be adding more furniture pieces over time, especially if, you know, seeing Jade make new bits and pieces of furniture. Of course, we're going to be throwing that in there. We're not going to wait for the full game. But basically, that's what Module 1 is all about, and that will be up shortly after all those tasks in the task tracker are marked as completed. There will be some sort of like pending verification approval process by Steam, so it could take a little bit for it to get verified, but we'll make sure that people are able to get their Steam key when it's up. Basically, you'll be able to sign on our new website, which should be out by then, and you'll be able to link your Steam account with your Identity account, and that's how you'll be getting your Steam key. So we got you covered there. The second module will happen later on. It shouldn't take anywhere near as long as it did to create the first one. No date particularly, but good to know that it won't take as long. And the SWAT module will focus on the weapon mechanics, specifically how they pertain to SWAT versus criminal scenarios. Even more specifically pertaining to bank heist, the bank you see in Town Square will actually be one of the set pieces for one of these bank heists, so that should be exciting. And then last but not least, we have Module 3, the racing module, which will allow you to get a feel for the vehicle handling. You can race against others. Should be really cool to see. And then after all of those 3 guys are done, we'll work on the beta, which will have the full open world with jobs and careers and things like that, and then we'll have the full game. But in terms of release dates, really right now we just have the task tracker for Town Square. In the future, John would like to use the API provided by Reich to make a more comprehensive tracker with descriptions and things like that. He just hasn't had the time really, and once we get the new website out, it's an addition that he would love to add. So it is it's pretty cool. Oh, and we actually have a question coming in from one of our artists, actually. Antoine is curious, Jade. Will you be working on the low poly version or the high poly version of this item first?
High poly.
Yeah, what I was thinking. There's your answer, Antoine. Which is cool. Yeah, where was I? Oh, I did dodge the question, didn't I, Motown? I think it was, oh, I had a peanut butter
Yeah, you
sandwich.
never. Yeah, okay.
Peanut butter
okay, good.
sandwich.
All right, good.
I don't want people to pop in and be like, why is he talking about his lunch? I'm trying to answer. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. I appreciate that people are like, hey, they're humans too, but I know why you guys are here. Just want to get some details. But yeah, that's basically with the task tracker. We'll get improved at some point because John does want to use Reich's API. Someone suggested that we use something like Trello, and while that is a really cool thing, it's improved a lot over time. We would have to port everything from Reich over to Trello in order to get that to work correctly, and we might as well just work within the project management software that we have already going.
Just
I-
just so you know, Archer and I actually do work with Trello, but that's our like side project secretly.
Oh, really?
And it makes it
Interesting.
easier to synchronize between us.
so they can build like backdoors into our code, and then
Yeah. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
basically
really?
giving myself shortcuts and
Yeah.
infinite money. And look, on Town Square, I'm gonna buy everything for free. Just watch me. Watch me. It's gonna happen.
Wow. Oh, a good question, Arrow Films. So this user asks, since the housing video was in late 2016, have the mechanics and or design like changed? Actually, it's still pretty darn similar to what you guys saw in the housing video. Last time I checked with John, it's mostly the same. So what you see in that video is pretty much what you can expect when you are customizing your apartment in Town Square. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. I'm definitely excited to mess around and make my own pad. We've seen so many different wallpapers from Mark, and we've seen so many different props from the artist that it's gonna be pretty crazy. And there's gonna be more stuff added over time, so could be interesting to see who can create the coolest looking apartments. And yeah, I'll be chilling out with people. Maybe swing by a few apartments if you guys give me access. Oh, another good question. So in terms of the existence of the modules, after the full game is released, you won't see them anymore, but the modules will exist, like maybe up until the beta, or maybe even during the beta. So like module 1 is for sure going to exist all throughout all of the modules' existence. So you don't have to worry about them disappearing immediately, but at some point they will be removed. I can't give any dates because it's too hard to say right now, but good question. It would be interesting to keep them as their own things, but basically we'll be taking the content from the modules, and you'll be able to find those areas and those like weapons and vehicles in the full game. So in a way, you'll see them again in the full game. Uh,
I can't believe you'd pass up my offers for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
what?
I just can't, it won't leave my mind. I can't think of anything else.
Dude, it's not even jelly, just peanut butter.
That's even worse.
I don't know. I don't want you spending money on other people. I'm like that. Very frugal.
Fair
Interesting question. I want to get your opinion on it, Motown. Will we be able to steal gas or people's wheels?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No, neither.
Neither. It'd be too complicated in terms of like a gameplay perspective,
No,
making it unfair.
no, it wouldn't. It's just not like it's not something that we're really
Looking at
interested
right
in.
now.
It just doesn't fit the design aesthetic that we're going for.
Okay. I gotcha. But yeah. Scrolling. Hope you guys are all enjoying your day. Already halfway through this stream. I don't know where time goes, but nice to be chilling out with y'all. I think someone asked about like blood splatter physics. I do believe when the guy got shot in the February gameplay video, the crime and punishment one, I think you got to see some blood. It's been a while since I looked at it, but that might give you a bit of an idea. I'll throw that into the chat actually. It's been a little while since we saw it. So for those of you who are
The blood effect will look a bit better in the final version. That was work in progress.
for sure. There it is. Oh, this is an interesting thought experiment for Emotown. So if you imagine the size the town square is currently at, how many would you say would fit into the final game map?
Wow. I'm not really sure I even have like a base of reference to go. Like
Yeah.
if it were like a kilometer by kilometer wide, then I would have a better idea. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure how wide the town square is. It's definitely not a kilometer, that's for sure. Um, quite a
Yeah.
bit. I mean, okay, so let me put it this way. The whole map is 225 square kilometers of land mass. That's not including the water. So
Yeah.
there's like there will be a ton of space. If you look at Altus Life in Arma 3, or the Altus map, that's 275 square kilometers, and ours is 225 square kilometers. But our map is also more densely packed with buildings and areas than that map is. So while ours is smaller than that map, it is um, filled with quite a bit more things.
Cool. Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good. Some people asking about translations. Sorry, I was eating my mic there for a second. So the modules will unfortunately not appear in any other language other than English, and that's simply because we need to focus our resources on creating the game first before we translate much of it. For the full game, we'll definitely have your client translated to as many different languages as we possibly can get. But it's simply a matter of resources right now in terms of focus, because we do have workers from all over the globe. Like we have Jade here from the UK, we got some people in the US, Germany, I think even Russia. We have people all over in terms of like freelancers and things like that. So we definitely understand the value of having other language options, and we know that RP is a big thing for identity, and it's very difficult to RP effectively when you have, you don't, there's this language barrier. So we do understand how valuable it is, and for the full game, we'll definitely try to appeal to as many different languages as possible. Just right now, we need to focus on coding the game first and getting
Yeah,
things that are pertaining to that ready.
yeah, but for the full game there would definitely be localization for all sorts of different languages. But for the first module, it's pretty much
Town
limited to
Square.
English. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Scrolling. Yeah, thanks for.
Um. So I see Shadow's question.
What about sleeping?
Yes, sleeping. How will he asks? So how will sleeping work in the game, and will there be a fast forward to the next day? So there is sleeping. It's not mandatory. It will help in like maybe some minor way. Maybe get rid of debuffs of some sort.
Cool.
Help restore some energy that you might have lost or something. But there's no effect on time because this game is multiplayer. We can't like put you on a different time scale than other players in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no fast forwarding time or anything like that. It's the effect is pretty much just you know you get into the bed, maybe lay there for a few seconds, and whatever effect that will happen within only a few seconds, so you don't have to sit there for hours sleeping.
Cool.
Maybe there will be some like nice buff to like sleeping in a bed before you log out or something like that. Yeah, still deciding the exact features and details surrounding that, but right now we're not positive that we want sleeping to be a requirement. So
I gotcha.
Yeah, sleep is for the
yeah.
weak anyway.
So
Timer.
so we'll look for alternative solutions to sleeping.
Nice. Sounds cool. I mean, you certainly don't want to log in and just watch your character sleep to get some sort of buff for like an hour. That'd be
exactly.
not too good. But yes. Ooh, why can't there be real car brands in the game? Basically, from what I've been told, unless your game or your piece of media is like specifically created in such a way to basically be an advertisement for a car or things like that, as long as we're talking about vehicles, they're totally against it happening. That's why that you don't see real brands for vehicles in games like GTA.
Yeah, car companies don't like to see their brands, their vehicles, with their brands getting damaged.
Mm-hmm.
And they also don't like to see their brand associated with
Violence and stuff.
with violence and drugs, which is very prominent in Identity. So
Fair enough,
it's
yeah.
totally understandable. We understand that, So no, there won't be any real brands in Identity. We'll avoid that as much as possible, except for maybe in some of those rare cases where a company is okay with doing that. But it probably won't be anything like vehicles. Though.
Nice. Nice. Someone is asking about things like shoplifting and bank robberies. There will definitely be bank robberies. I do believe there will be shoplifting. I'll throw in the most recent conversation we had about shoplifting. But yeah, it should be interesting. For bank heist specifically, you'll need a certain amount of players available ready to help you out for some of them. And there will also need to be a certain number of police on the same server logged in so they can handle it effectively. It's basically just a balance thing to make sure there's not like a billion criminals and no police or vice versa. So, but yeah, it should be really cool. What is Jade making? He's basically making what appears to be the arm for one of the tables he's been assigned for. Pretty cool. The part he's working on right now, I guess, is yeah. What are you like this particular thing you're doing right now, Jade? What's your methodology behind this?
Blag it. Nah.
Yeah, he's just shaping the leg right now of the table.
Yeah, the legs are really weird shape.
Whoa. Does look fancy though.
I'm just trying to get it because it's got this weird thing here, and then it's also got angles here. So I'm going to straighten everything up in there
Nice.
eventually.
Yeah, it looks complicated, but you're the guy for the task.
It's very complicated.
Someone is asking about ranking structure for the police role?
Yeah, we get that question a lot, and on official servers, there won't be much of like a player managed ranking structure. It'll be mostly automated. You'll get better rewards the higher rank you are on official servers. On private servers, however, and we do plan on relying very heavily on private servers to provide a lot of the like role play content for Identity. We really want to support those communities and let them be a big part of that aspect of the game. Um, so you can expect that a majority of the player population will probably take place on privately run communities, and that's kind of our goal and our aim. But on private servers though, they do manage. They have the choice to manage the police force manually, and so
Mhm.
they can assign ranks however they wish, and just structure things however whatever suits their needs for roleplay or for gameplay.
Nice. Yeah.
There
Sounds.
can be a player captain that calls all the shots, different ranks and roles beyond what we have designed. So it'll be a pretty cool system.
Nice. I hear ya. Someone's asking about police dispatching. I actually have two clips right here I'll throw in quick order. Uh, you can be a dispatcher in Identity, which is pretty cool. And I believe that we explained it
Yeah.
in these two. I like not. I'm a bit fuzzy on the topic. It's been a while, but should be a very interesting position. It's not necessary if someone dials 911. Like there will be an automated system if there's no one signed into that role. But it should be really cool seeing people, remain calm during those situations and getting the right
Yeah.
people to the scene.
Police dispatch is really designed to help organize the police force, and that will allow those police dispatchers to open up a radar map basically, and select units, give them orders to go to certain parts of the map, also communicate with the drivers of the patrol vehicles that they're trying to kind of move logistics around for. So yeah, they'll have a big part in police communication.
I gotcha. Here's another question, Motown. I don't think we have an extensive list, but someone is wondering, what are the sorts of different penalties in the game that can trigger you for arrest? Kind of like, speeding when an officer witnesses that, or, committing murder, things that might get you
Oh, wow, there's probably
in
more than I can
trouble.
imagine right now. Yeah, there's quite a bit of that. Like just things driving on the wrong side of the road will flag you, and so certain crimes, depending on the severity of them, have kind of an invisible flag attached to them. So you don't see that you're flagged. It's just kind of a thing that allows cops to be able to ticket you or arrest you, depending on the severity of the crime, just so they can't abuse their powers. And this can be enabled or disabled based on the server preferences for the private communities. So, you in some cases you don't want a cop to be able to just run up to a random player and send them to prison. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so that system is there to help mitigate those incidents. Uh,
Yeah, sounds good. I have a few people asking about the court system. From what I recall, if you get sent to prison for a long amount of time, you can actually
yeah,
challenge the case and be sent to a courthouse where there will be a jury of semi-randomly selected people.
yeah. So the thing is, depending on I think it's 15 minutes. So if your sentence is longer than 15 minutes in prison, you can apply for a jury trial and get out quicker if the jury considers you not guilty. Uh, so it'll really
Nice.
shorten the length of your sentence dramatically, uh, if that's what the jury decides. The jury is randomly selected, so like people are randomly given a mission, like a pop-up mission, like as they're playing the game, and they're asked to go to the courthouse, so they will receive an incentive to do so. It'll be quite enticing, so it might be like a monetary reward or some other reward that they'll get out of it if they go. And then when they arrive, they will have time to listen to your case. You as the defendant can try to defend yourself, or have a public defendant try to defend you on your behalf. So a lawyer, a player lawyer, can speak on your behalf and try to convince the jury that you shouldn't be in prison.
That is
So-
very exciting. And yeah, you guys are fast. We already have users catching the fact that the tracker has been updated. Motown, it seems that you're right. One thing in programming went from in testing to completed,
nice.
which is sick. That means that there's a single gameplay task remaining. Still a
It's
few in user interface,
almost there.
but that's cool. Nice to see. Very nice. Cool. Let me pop open Twitch again. But yeah, being like trying to be a lawyer for somebody is going to be so amusing. There's going to be so many strange cases people are going to have to deal
Yeah, it will, and we really hope that some people will become really known for their public speaking ability, and so they will be be like the go-to guy in certain cases to defend you in court. We're really looking forward to seeing, because there are law firms in the game too, right? So those players that are quite charismatic can become a part of a law firm and represent people regularly. And so yeah, we hope to see some players gain fame through public defense.
Yeah, sounds pretty amusing. Cool. Yeah, but once again, you guys are super quick at catching that tracker. Good stuff, good stuff. We do tend to update it near the end of every workday. Sometimes the boys in the office are so busy that if they work overtime, they're unable to update the tracker, which is why sometimes it's gone unupdated with no visual change. And at one point we did have a bug where the visual wasn't updating for some reason, but more often than not, we'll get it updated at the end of each workday. So thank you guys for popping in to check that out every now and then. It is nice to see all this progress being made. It's really incredible. Ooh. Oh, here's an interesting thought experiment, Motown. So would it be possible that some court cases would take longer than the full prison sentence?
No, it's all based on a timer. So you get a certain amount of time to state your case, and then after that time period is up, it goes to the jury, and they get a certain amount of time to deliberate. And that's it. Like, they either decide at that point or don't decide. Well, I mean, I guess they either decide, like they have to decide. So
Gotcha.
if you're guilty, then you simply go back to prison, and if you're not guilty, then you get released on the spot in front of the prison.
Hey. All right. Sounds cool. Sounds cool. Ooh, a few interesting questions here. Asking about police corruption, Motown. It's definitely something we don't want to see, where police, abuse their powers for whatever reason. There will be checks in place to try and keep them abiding to the role that they signed up for. So, for example, you won't see police officers driving around in civilian vehicles. It'll be very distinct as to who's an officer and who isn't. Perhaps on private servers we can tweak that, but at the very least on official servers, We want police officers to be visible, not be like undercover or things like that.
Yeah, and it goes the same way to so civilians won't be stealing police uniforms either and wearing them. Yeah, it goes both ways.
And you know, if you're an officer, you will not be able to give your police equipment to civilians. There will be a check in place to make sure you can't just drop your gun or hand out a vehicle police car. So we'll definitely try and make it as balanced as possible. We don't want people ruining the enjoyment, like one guy ruining it for a bunch of others. So good question.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's always ways to kind of skirt the mechanics, right? So we will also be keeping an eye on that, and you know, if you abuse the system too much, if there is a way to abuse it, and we'll do everything we can to prevent that from happening. But if it's possible, we will consider player reports against certain players, and then decide whether those people need to take a timeout from the police force for a while on official servers.
Mm-hmm.
And then on private servers, you can decide on your own what to do with them.
Nice. Yeah, a lot of progress on this prop already, Jade. It's really got this elegant form to this leg. Like, oof,
It's a pain.
you were quick.
I know I'd have.
Uh,
I thought it would be the main leg, but not this top bit. But yeah.
Ooh, here's another question about prison. If you do get sentenced to prison, I do believe you can actually initiate a breakout of sorts. I don't know if I have any information on that at the moment. I will go search for it real quick. I don't know if you might happen to recall anything yourself, Motown.
Yeah. So what we think will happen was like, so you know, this is kind of like something that we kind of debate back and forth frequently. So it's really not written in stone yet. You know, there's still more debates in the future to determine the exact workings. But we imagine there's two ways that this could happen. Somebody from the outside could initiate a prison break and try to help you escape, or people from the inside can go through some sort of process. I don't want to go too in depth about the process, but it'll probably involve basically the faction that you're involved with in the prison gangs. Determine who gets to escape, you know, based on your faction, and you'll go through that process, and then you'll have to fight the prison guards to make your escape.
Yeah.
You'll basically like get access to like an armory perhaps, and steal some weapons from the armory, and then kind of get into a PvP battle against the player cops that respond to the prison to defend it, to prevent your escape. So yeah, it'll be a neat system. In fact, I think that is quite similar to how the system will work with the second module too. There's 3 maps in the second module: a prison escape map, a drug house, drug den, and a I'm having a brain fart. I guess I mentioned it earlier to you.
For module 2?
Yeah, there is.
Warehouse.
Yeah, a warehouse. Yes. Yeah, and so particularly in the prison escape mode, it is, you know, just prisoners versus cops kind of scenario, and it's very similar to how prison escape will work in the final game.
Okay, nice. Nice. Sounds good. Lots of questions about prisons today. These are pretty cool. So in prison, will there be any sort of categorization, like, you know, there's low, medium, high security, or is everyone going to be clumped into the same general area and general, you know, level of threat, sort of, so to speak?
Could you repeat that again?
No problem. So basically, in prison, will prisoners be categorized as like, this guy's a low security
No.
threat, this guy's a medium security threat?
No. However, there's no categories like that. It's basically just you're in prison. You can join a prison gang, do activities with your gang, or go to the common hangout area and just chat with other prisoners until your time has expired. It's so you don't have to get into the gang activities. You can role play with other prisoners. You can just hang out and chat if you want. Just maybe there'll be some non-violent activities you can take part in, like maybe playing a game of pool or cards or something like that, or watching television.
Sounds good. I see a question about SWAT. I'll throw in 2 Twitch clips into the chat. Basically, you won't be in SWAT mode at all times. When a group of criminals is trying to break into a bank or something like that, when there's a demand for such force, some officers will have the ability to get some SWAT gear and go in under that title. New players that are just signing into the cop role will not be able to do those sorts of missions right away. He'll have to actually get familiar with the game and succeed in the police role for at least a good little while. But it's cool. It's cool to see that we have those sorts of things. I'm also excited to see what's going to happen with these bank heists and the conflict between criminals and police officers. Yeah, Motown helping answer questions in the chat. Thank you, dude. Also, shout outs to Kane, one of our moderators, to answer questions. It means a lot. These moderators volunteer their free time to help out with the Twitch streams and things like that. So special thanks to them, honestly. They really do help. And I am slow when it comes to answering questions in the chat. It's usually always scrolled way up. So thanks again. One question about death. When you die in Identity, you'll lose items that are in your inventory, like cash, guns, things like that. You will not lose your cosmetic items, so you won't lose your clothes or anything like that. But you will lose, if you have a lot of cash on you, it can be kind of threatening to get thrown into instigations where there's, violent conflict and things like that. There won't be permadeath. We're wrestling with the idea of allowing that on private servers. The thing with permadeath is that if a user logs on Identity for the first time and they go on a private community with permadeath on, and they end up, losing all of their things, it will probably feel like a different game than the base form of Identity. And we want to make sure that private servers still kind of reflect the main image that we're going for, the main kind of game plan for Identity. We want to give players a bunch of different things that they can tweak and settings that they can control, but permadeath is just something that's iffy. We know it's huge for some our peers. It makes all the difference, and you really value your life when you only have one. But if there's enough demand for it, we can probably get it in. But right now, the devs are still wrestling with that idea for private servers. For official servers, there will not be permadeath for sure.
Yeah, something we can consider later down the road.
Yeah. So, it is 4:57 over here in Ottawa land. We'll start to wrap things up shortly. Maybe take one more question or two. Let me scroll through. Yeah, okay, this one is interesting. How will the business model work? If you're asking about how you can make money in the game, you can have storefronts which you can sell items out of. Basically, you will be in charge of stocking the inventory, and an NPC will handle transactions for you. You can work similar or simpler jobs like just getting lumber, selling it to NPC stores, mining for minerals and ores and things like that. You can go big with corporations, which will allow you to have things like a taxi business, a delivery business, which is specifically for delivering goods, not people. You'll be able to. There's always more corporations that I forget about, but basically there will be ways to get these big souped up businesses that we call corporations that basically offer services and goods and things like that on a bigger scale than what these storefronts and the smaller jobs offer. Um, of course, you'll still be able to like get money playing as an officer. You'll get rewarded for the tasks you complete, like arresting people. Criminals, of course, doesn't take too much to know what they might be doing in terms of killing others for the items and things like that, and bank heist, which should be fun. There's simpler things too, again, like fishing. I believe we talked about that a few times, but there's a lot of different ways to make money in identity, and it's hard to compile a full list of all of the different kinds of ways you can keep yourself afloat in this crazy financial world. So should be really cool to see. Once again, currency not in town square. You won't have to worry about jobs or things like that. We'll just give you guys new items in the furniture shop and things like that, so you can keep trying out new items and test them out. See if you enjoy them or not. If you like them in the full game, if a particular table or something suits your fancy. And yeah, we are at 5 o'clock right now. Guess we can start wrapping up. So I definitely like to thank Jade for popping on stream. It's definitely been a while since he was on, and it's great to see him again. This fancy little pole is looking really elegant, like frustrating to work with in my opinion, but it's
Yeah.
really shaping up. I like this. So good stuff to Jade
Yeah.
for
It's a
popping
leg.
on. Smooth. Thanks again to the moderators for showing up to help answer questions. Motown 2 for helping answer questions. He's the art director. Cool guy indeed, and also he was hopping in chat to help answer stuff too. So, and Cyber for making a cameo appearance in the chat. You heard him a few times, so thank you all for joining us. If there are any questions that we didn't quite get around to answering, definitely hit up Beach Ball on either Discord, the Identity forums, really anywhere. I will also link in the Twitch. We have a huge directory full of Twitch clips that basically are recorded conversations of the past when either Sean or John were around to help answer questions. So it's a good resource to use while we're waiting for new information with the new website, things like that.
Yep. Thank you, everybody.
Because when we do get the new website up, we will eventually have tabs that have far more updated information, and should be much better than siphoning through billions of clips. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, thank you all for joining, and I hope that you all have a great rest of your day or night, depending on time zones and things like that. Next time we'll be live will probably be Tuesday. We usually like streaming Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, maybe you'll see Jade around too. This man streams at Jade77. That's his Twitch. You can see a lot of cool things behind the scenes. Some media that won't be posted for a while. So if you guys pop in on the streams, you might see some content that that others won't be able to see for a while. So that's pretty much it. I hope you all have a great time, and we will see you next time.
Yeah. See you later, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.